content free, what does that even mean? If I'm going to be teaching a program and it's content free, what does that even mean? It means that you don't have to learn about techniques, you don't have to learn about learning patterns or learning pattern language or whatever it's called. You don't have to buy all the audio equipment. You don't have to learn how to do the audios for your clients and setting it up with all the wonderful music, because that is just so time consuming. And I know that a lot of programs out there teaches you all of that stuff. And when you have to rote learn a script, you have to rote learn a technique, you actually become so involved in how you're performing for your client rather than just being present. And a lot of the videos that I talk about is about being present. And being present means that you're actually listening to the client, you're seeing them react, you're looking for these unconscious moments that you can utilize, that you can see and draw upon and utilize that and get into that unconscious mind, get into that unconscious frame where they're actually giving you information. But if you're there in front of a script and you're rote learning what you need to say, figuring out a technique, that becomes so cumbersome and confusing for you as the therapist. And it doesn't even have to be just for a hypnotherapist. This is about life coaches. This is about having to understand what language patterns you got to say so that your client gives you some feedback. But really, when you're being your true self and you're being the curious human being, being the curious therapist, or being a curious spiritual healer, because also that tends to have techniques as well. I want to just explain that the content free means that you don't have to do any of that when you're with a client, when you're understanding about advanced conversation therapy. You actually are just engaging exactly what it says, having a conversation, watching out for those cues of what your client's giving to you, utilizing it, and seeing the results. You actually get to see them change. You see them, their skin tone change. You see how they change in their mannerisms. You actually hear their voices change as well throughout the whole session. When you're learning this, it's not just bringing in all those techniques that you've learned. And I've been there. I have had scripts. I have had the audios, and, I've spent so much time trying to research a script for anxiety. I've tried to research for a script for women's menopause, and it just doesn't work, because the majority of the time that you're prepping for a client, you could be doing so much more with that time. You could be talking and networking and really finding out who else you can help, who else is your next client, who else is going to be in front of you. And I just think it really frees you up as a therapist, as a coach. And I know there's coaches out there, healers out there, other therapists that I'm sure they know, because they wouldn't have learnt, that their modalities are that's all they need. But really, if you didn't need to have any of that, starting from here, starting from this point and moving forward, it frees you up so much. I can't tell you how much it has freed my time and the client's time. And I'm not saying that it's going to be in one session or two sessions, but it is going to minimize your time with the client, because you're getting the results. You're actually seeing and interacting in a more deeper level.